Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be bringing you a core and glutes workout. All you need is a resistance band and a mat. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Fumi and I'm a women's health coach and I'm all about empowering new mums to feel their very best. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'll be bringing you new workout videos each and every Monday. So starting off this workout with side-to-side crab walks. You're wearing your resistance band just above your knees, and as you're stepping out side to side, you want to make sure that you're pushing your knees out against the band and keeping your hips nice and low. As you are stepping from side to side, you want to make sure that you're maintaining a gap in between your feet. Keeping the band on, you're going to go into a squat with the pulse. Now, you're going to feel quite a lot of sensation in your glutes. So as we've been warming up that area, so the side of your bum, that's going to feel like it's burning at this point. So just try to keep going. We're just activating those glutes. As with the crab walks, make sure that you're pushing your knees out against that band as you're doing your squats. So you're getting onto your back ready for your glute bridges. You want to make sure that your heels are touching your fingers. That way you're making sure you're only working your glutes. You want to make sure that you're also squeezing your knees out against the band as you're bringing your hips up, and focus on squeezing your glutes each time you are bringing your hips up as well. So you're going into a sumo squat position. So your feet are wide, your toes are pointing out away from you, and your knees are pointing in the same direction as your toes. Your tempo is nice and slow here. You're focusing on pushing into your heels and making sure that your glutes and your inner thighs are working here. Make sure you're keeping your core engaged, so make sure your belly button is going to your spine and you're keeping your chest up. So avoid leaning forward here. And again, control is key. So finishing off those squats with 8 to 10 squat pulses. So you want to make sure that you're keeping your hips nice and low. Next up, we've got curtsy lunges. So with your curtsy lunges, you want to make sure that you're stepping back into the diagonal as opposed to straight back. This is working the glutes of your standing leg. So make sure that foot that is stationary is nice and flat, and you're keeping control through your core, again by keeping your belly button to your spine, keeping nice and upright, and stepping back, nice and controlled. Coming back into your glute bridge, you're going to do about 10 to 12 reps this time around. Again, remember, back is nice and flat. Make sure that your heels can touch your fingers, so you're working your glutes only, and push your knees out against the band. Squeeze those glutes each time you're lifting up, and hold that squeeze for a second before coming back down. So you're going to get into a side lying position for your clamshells. Keep your knees bent and keep your heels together as you're opening up like a clamshell. Keep your heels in line with your sit bone and try to avoid rolling on your hips as you're opening up. You want to make sure that you're doing about 12 reps on each side. So we're now going into a side plank. You want to make sure that your elbow is directly underneath your shoulder, your forearm is down on the floor, and if you're keeping your knee down, you want to make sure your knee is in line with your elbow. Keeping your hips up, you're going to bring your elbow to your knee, and the whole time you're doing this, you want to make sure you're keeping your hip elevated. So you're working your oblique and your glutes here. Okay, we're going into a plank now. We're going to come into a high plank onto our hands and our toes into our plank shoulder taps. So you want to make sure, again, your core is engaged, keeping your belly button to your spine. We're going for 10 taps on each side. Now this might be quite challenging for your core, and if it is so, then just drop down to your knees and you can continue doing your reps until you've done your 20 reps. If you are staying on your toes, make sure you're not going from side to side. So control is key here. Try not to speed through the exercise and keep your hips as still as you can. Now we're going to the other side for our side plank crunches. So again, remember your form, elbow underneath your shoulder, hips elevated, knees are also in line with your elbows. And your hips are staying elevated the entire time that you're bringing your knee to your elbow. Coming down into a forearm plank, we're going to be doing plank saws. So you're getting into that position, again, belly button to spine, and then you're just gently rocking forward whilst keeping onto your toes, keeping the tension in your core and pushing your forearms into the floor. So make sure that you're looking in front of your hands and not at your feet. If this is too much for you, then just hold the plank for about 30 seconds or so. So we're getting onto our backs now for bicycle crunches. Make sure that you're lying flat on the floor, back is nice and flat, knees are at 90 degrees, and your head is elevated. You're bringing the opposite elbow to the opposite knee and extending the other side. So try to control this exercise here as much as you can. You want to make sure that you're not speeding through this exercise, keeping your back nice and flat each time you're twisting from side to side. If you have any concerns about diastasis recti, then just check your stomach the way that I'm doing so. Just checking the center of my stomach. I'm looking at it, I'm feeling for it, and just checking how that tension is in my stomach. Now, if doming is a concern, then the next exercise might be a little bit too much for you. So what we're doing here is keeping the head elevated again, back is nice and flat, and we're dropping both feet down at the same time. If you are concerned about doming, then you can just alternate which foot you're tapping down. And again, just keep an eye on your stomach, see how it's going, make sure that you're touching and feeling if you have any, doming or pushing through. You can drop your head down as well if you need to when you're tapping one foot at a time. Otherwise, you're just carrying on with bringing both feet down and back up again. For our next core exercise, we're going into dead bugs. Back is nice and flat again, and your knees are coming up at 90 degrees. Here you're extending opposite arm and opposite leg. This is working your TVA, and it can feel like quite a lot of pull if your core is still a little bit weak. So for your easier version, you can just keep your arms up and just drop one heel down at a time. If, however, you're feeling that you can carry on with this, then please continue with extending opposite arm and opposite leg. Okay, so we're almost done here. We're coming onto a kneeling position and extending our left leg, and we are pulsing. So we want to make sure that this is a very small and controlled movement, working those glutes on the left side. Coming down onto our forearms, we're going to bend the knee, and then we're going to pulse up towards the ceiling with the heel. Then coming back up onto our hands, we're now going to go into fire hydrants. So you're leading with the knee, kicking it out to the side. Again, still working those glutes. And then lastly, we're extending opposite arm and opposite leg. So again, you want to make sure you're keeping your core nice and controlled. So sending the belly button to your spine, keeping your back nice and flat. You're extending here with control. So make sure you're not speeding through this exercise. You're working your glute, your shoulder, and your core. Okay, so now we're repeating all the same exercises over on the right hand side, starting off with your leg pulses. Well done, we are finished. So I'm just going into a child's pose here, just to catch my breath, take a few deep breaths in and sit my hips back. And then I'm going into this thread and needle stretch, which is lovely for the shoulders and just to carry on bringing my heart rate down. So holding it for about 10 seconds on one side before switching over to the other side. Coming into the glute stretch, you're going to take one leg across the other and hug the knee with the opposite elbow. And you should feel that stretch in the right leg as I am holding that one. And you just want to hold that stretch for about 15 seconds. And then repeat the same on the other side. So guys, there you have it. You've got your core and glutes workout series. Now you can add another round if you wish, if you've got enough time. Otherwise, just stick with this round, and I hope to see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe. If you like this video, please hit the like button and also send it to your friends. Can't wait to see you in the next video. Take care guys, bye.